the whole Melbourne defining the entirety of Australian games, and within Melbourne, some pockets defining the entirety of Melbourne and therefore Australian games, I think it's been irresponsible on a fair few people's parts. I think that part of it has been state government, part of it's been federal government, part of it has been leaders in Melbourne who have taken on ownership rather than just leadership. And ownership is, the symptoms of ownership is when people fear crossing you, when people fear disagreeing, lest they be cast out of the community. And as such a sort of cliquey industry and communities that we have here, there's a lot of fear around that, which sucks. The other thing that happens is those leaders get very pushed up and increasingly pushed by everyone who is in there, and then as the state government and then federal government support the same community over and over and over again, the next people coming in all see that as well. So whether it's students or just newcomers to the industry. I think that other states and other cities should see Melbourne as a model to work off of rather than work towards. Part of me is quite hopeful for other cities to, everyone has the aim to expand and get bigger. So my hope is that they can look at Melbourne as an example that they can work off of rather than a definite success. And I worry that they don't. There have been other very similar Melbourne models or, just like what's happening in Melbourne, we're going to have these events and very Melbourne style events happening in other cities, which we can make fun of and laugh. And those cities definitely do like to take the piss a little bit when a very Melbourne person goes over there, which is good. I want them to keep taking the piss rather than embracing it without any holding back. I think that, any change should be treated with a bit of suspicion, as should any norm. And I think that development should be experimented with